Good morning, happy Sunday. If you hear lots of PVC and clodhopper boots, it's because there's lots of PVC and clodhopper boots. By God and by golly, it's gonna rain, and I'm gonna make it through dry. Him, not so much. I took both dogs out on a little walk, and I put Holly back inside so that she doesn't have to suffer. She's old, she's small. She doesn't need to be out here in the cold, getting wet. But this young lad here, he needs his exercise, so we're definitely gonna push through it. This Fifth Amendment thing is still just, I don't know why, but it's boggling the small minds out there. The first thing I want to address is I am told that I am a teacher. I'm taking the role of a teacher, and I need to encourage you guys to go out there and not ID, to find that ever evasive and elusive time when the Fifth Amendment could protect you from not IDing, and that's retarded. I am a teacher. Sure, I'm trying to teach you how to not get arrested for bullshit while you're out there trying to film. Getting arrested for failure to ID while you're out there filming is not going to advance the First Amendment. It's not going to advance your right to film. It's not going to advance my right to film. It's not going to do anybody any fucking good. There's just going to be another call flood, a needless, useless call flood. There's just going to be another GoFundMe, all the big cash hogs out there are gonna ask you to send money to them, and they'll make sure to forward it along, and it'll never get there. But anyway, it's all bullshit. That's why I don't exhort you to do stupid shit. And not IDing, if you're required by law to ID, not IDing is about the stupidest shit you could think of. The Fifth Amendment protects you against incriminating yourself. Incriminating yourself. That means that being you has to be an element of the crime. For example, a cop walks up to you and says, "What's your name?" And you say, "My name is John." And they say, "That is an element of this crime." So let me set this one back. Okay, so a cop says, "Were you at number 1 Happy Street?" Yes, I was. Well, a crime happened at number 1 Happy Street, and a crime happens in a location. Determining the location is part of the crime. There's territorial jurisdiction matters, all sorts of other fun things, but they need to know where you were. You had to be where the crime was committed. That could be incriminating. You could take the fifth on that. You don't have to answer if you were at number 1 Happy Street. If they ask you when you were at number 1 Happy Street, that it could be incriminating because you had to be there when the crime occurred. So the Fifth Amendment would protect you if you don't want to answer when you were at number 1 Happy Street. Do you own a knife? I'm not going to answer that because the crime may have been committed with the knife. That would be incriminating. Is your name John? What fucking crime starts with if somebody named John does X, Y, and Z? It doesn't. Now the Supreme Court doesn't like to close itself off. That's the reason why they left it open and they didn't decide on it. They didn't close it off because somewhere, somehow, somebody may get into a situation where, fuck me, all of a sudden your name is some sort of an element in the crime. Until that day, you are just going to get arrested for failing to ID if you are by law required to ID and you fail to do so. Saying I'm taking the fifth is just going to get you arrested. They'll bring you in front of a judge. The judge is going to be like, "Okay, well, tell me in camera, tell me off the record, tell me in my chambers or without the recording going, why you think it's incriminating." And he'd be like, "Because then he'll have my name and then he can run me for warrant." And the judge is going to be like, you're fucking retarded. Go sit back down. Stupid people who don't understand what an incriminating statement is are going to tell you that somehow the Fifth Amendment will protect you from having to say your name. It doesn't. And the Supreme Court did leave it open that there's some possibility. I get it. But this is fucking Lloyd and Harry out there saying, so if I was the last person alive, you'd have sex with me? Yeah. So you're saying there's a chance? You're fucking idiots. I am not going to exhort people to do things that there is a fucking chance, a 1 in a billion chance, even less than that. Because you have to remember, I'm trying to put this in perspective for you. If it was just as simple as making the right argument, and it's not, but if it was, there are literally tens of thousands of ID events every day where police officers demand ID from people, including lawyers. Lawyers get pulled over and get speeding tickets. Lawyers break the law from time to time. Lawyers have to interact with police and show them their ID just like everybody else. You think that if just claiming the Fifth Amendment was a better than a 0.000000000 ad infinitum 1% chance, that lawyers would do it every fucking time. But we don't. Why don't we? Because it is not going to happen. Your name would have to incriminate you. Or you'd have to reasonably believe it could incriminate you. And it doesn't. I don't know how else to make this clear. I am at a loss of how to make this more clear. There is a wide world of evidence where every day people are demanded to show their IDs on penalty of being arrested. Demanded. And they do it. And the ones that don't win in court. They don't win on Fifth Amendment grounds. Because it's not incriminating. The lawyers for Hibble probably threw that shit in there as just a last ditch. Oh, well, what the fuck? Throw it against the wall, see what sticks. Maybe the appellate court will go for it. And the appellate court didn't. And yes, there's a lot of just throwing shit in there to see what sticks. And once you've thrown it in there, you might as well keep arguing on it because there's a chance, right? Last man on earth, you'd have sex with me, huh? There's a chance. But it is negligible. It is as close to a 0% chance as you can get. Let's see. Court forcing you to do something. Apparently, the court can't force you to say a line. And apparently, I'm retarded because I don't realize this. I am fully aware that the court can't put its arm up your ass and work your vocal cords and your mouth and your lips to make you say the words. I am aware of that. The court offers you incentives, i.e. you can stay out of jail if you actually say these lines. You don't get additional fines and penalties associated if you say the sentence. Just like the court can't stop you from murdering, you know, but there is a penalty if you do it and you get caught. As far as Two Truth for Liberty, he still believes the court can't force you to get your vaccinations. And that's probably wrong. And it would probably look like this. Step 1 is be mandated by law to get certain vaccinations and fail to do so. Step 2, the authorities find out about it and decide to proceed. Step 3, the court orders you to do it, and you resist that order by not doing it. Step 4, you get tossed into prison where they mandate you get it. Step 5, they administer the vaccine by force. You lose. And if you're still arguing that vaccines are somehow bad, you are completely asinine. You are ignoring all of the evidence. Ham sandwiches have more of a chance of killing you than a vaccine via choking or heart disease. I don't know. Gluten. Apparently gluten's the new bogeyman. It's amazing. People have been eating bread for tens of thousands of years or something like that. 10,000 years? I don't know. A long ass time. But all of a sudden now we're magically gluten intolerant. I tell you what, you go to some of those places in Africa where the kids have the distended bellies because they haven't eaten in a week. You give that kid a piece of bread, I guarantee you he's not gluten intolerant. I guarantee you he doesn't have a peanut butter allergy. Anyway, I'm not a doctor, what do I know? So remember, I'm not advising you to not ID, not because I don't want to inspire you, but because you will lose. I will bet you every penny I own that if you are in a state where you are statutorily mandated to show your ID, and the officer meets all of his criteria for you to show him his ID, he has whatever reasonable suspicion or probable cause, and you refuse to do so, and he charges, and you get charged with whatever they charge failure to ID under in that particular state, I guarantee you that the Fifth Amendment will not prevent you from being subject to that particular fine, whatever is associated, penalty that's associated with that failure to ID statute. I guarantee you, I will bet every penny I own. So don't do it. It's stupid. It is absolutely the dumbest thing ever to do. I don't know how much more clear I can make it. You will lose because your name is not incriminating. And here's the fun challenge for you. Why don't you put it in the comments. Try figuring out a situation where your name would be incriminating. And if you say, oh, well, if somebody saw me do it. No. What's incriminating is they saw you do it, not your name. Not they said, oh, John did it. It's that they saw you do it. That's the incriminating evidence. You saying, yes, my name is John, doesn't mean that, yes, they are correct that they saw you do it. If someone wrote a bad check and signed John on the signature line, that wouldn't be incriminating, because just because it's your name doesn't mean you signed it. It's not incriminating evidence. Anybody could have signed that. Anybody can sign John. I just can't think of any situation where your name would be incriminating. I just can't think of it. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Have a happy Saturday. I don't know if there's going to be a guest on. I haven't heard back from my producer. I did see that Lawn Smoke subscribed to me today, so welcome, Lawn Smoke. If you are my guest, I hope you bring your A game and you don't give those half-ass, pussy-ass answers you were given to Brian King. Better have your little smoke before you come on, buddy. Better calm them nerves. I'm gonna take you to Pound Town. Yeah, and I meant it that way too. You're gonna be on the bottom, baby. Yeah. Have a good day.